Hi, my name is Dan Guth, and I'm a reserve police officer for the city of Costa Mesa. I enjoy being a reserve officer. A reserve officer is basically a part-time police officer. For those of you who are interested in law enforcement, it may be a good route to go. To become a reserve officer, you need to put yourself through a police academy. However, you can enroll in a part-time police academy and keep your present job. That would avoid any financial hardships to quitting your job and going into law enforcement full-time. Upon completion of a police academy, you're eligible to get hired by a police department. You go through the same training, background investigation that a normal police officer does, but you do it on a part-time basis. This will allow you to have a taste of law enforcement, yet keep your present career. Therefore, if you don't like police work, you haven't lost anything. It's a great way to go, and I would suggest anybody who is interested but doesn't want to make the full jump to full-time law enforcement, go the reserve route.
Hi, my name is TJ Byrne. I work with the San Diego County Marshal's Office. I recommend anybody trying to get into law enforcement initially try to become a reserve officer to see it's an opportunity for someone to see if they want to evaluate an agency or a career prior to becoming fully involved in it. It's an opportunity, so this way you're not overcommitted, it's not becoming your livelihood, and you're able to evaluate it on a part-time basis.
Okay, my name is Andy Sepulveda. I'm a custody officer for Costa Mesa Police Department. Basically my job is housing prisoners that are arrested. It is a civilian position. When it comes to housing, as soon as they come in, we book them, fingerprint, photograph, and then house in one of our housing areas. It's a great stepping stone if you want to become a sworn police officer like I do. You get to learn a lot about the penal code, different charges. Plus you get to work with people that are on the other side of the law as reference to arrestees. A lot of them are sometimes hostile, and you get to experience on that side of it, so you have some people experience. So if I ever do get a chance to go sworn, I already have that experience going on in the field. Again, it's a great stepping stone because you learn a lot. So I have prior military experience, so that helped me also get into this position.
Hi, my name is Kelly Blanchard, and I'm a Community Services Officer for the Costa Mesa Police Department. I take reports for the Patrol Division, so I respond to all calls where there are no suspects still present, and I take the reports for those. I feel that it's a great stepping stone to becoming an officer due to the fact that I basically have to know all crime elements, report codes, radio codes, and a lot of times do my own investigation on calls, and it makes you very eligible to become an officer, also due to the fact that you learn how to deal with people and ask the right questions for reports, and basically just learn report writing skills and radio skills.
Hi, my name is Annette Pareda with Costa Mesa Police Department. I'm a crime prevention specialist for the department. I'm a non-sworn officer. What we do is we're the educators for the community on how to prevent crimes from happening. We also do community relations. We work with the different details in the department, so we always know what's happening, what types of crimes are being committed in the city, how they are being committed, and then we go out to the community and teach them preventative tips. This is a good step in becoming a police officer because we work with every detail in the police department and city hall, from patrol officers to undercover detectives to the chief and administrative staff. So you get to know the operations of the police department, and you learn how to be more community oriented in everything that you do.
Hi, my name is Yung Tran, and I work for the Costa Mesa Police Department. I'm a cadet, and what a cadet does is you help out in different areas in the police department, traffic control. You get to go to schools and talk to kids about the police department, and it's a great way to get your foot in the door, to find out if you really want to do police work. And it's also a very good idea if you can speak another language. It helps out. Through my own experience, I've had to translate many times for the police officers, and that just gives you also an idea. If you're able to translate, you can get a feel of how the interviewing process goes and how the officers handle that. And so this is a great opportunity for somebody to learn about law enforcement. And I really encourage that if anybody wants to become a police officer, that they start off as a cadet.
I'm John Carlisle. I'm a cadet with the Costa Mesa Police Department. I'm here to tell you about the cadet program. It's a great program. It's just like any entry-level job. You get paid for it, plus you get to learn all the aspects of law enforcement. It's real great. I encourage you to go to your local police department if you are interested in law enforcement and check out the program. And if you are eligible, I suggest that you apply for it. It's a real good learning step if you want to become a law enforcement officer. Thank you.
My name is Carlos Diaz. I am a traffic cadet for the Costa Mesa Police Department. I started in this department as a explorer, and when I turned 18 I became a cadet here in this department. Some of my duties as a cadet is to impound vehicles and to write traffic citations. I would recommend anyone who wants to become a law enforcement officer to start out with some of these steps. I eventually myself want to become a sworn officer in this department, and hopefully I can do it by building the experience out here in the field.
Hi, my name is Fred Gackler, and I am a senior volunteer at the Costa Mesa Police Department. I've been here for about 6 years, and it's a great place to get to know a little bit more about your community and law enforcement. Some of the volunteers work at our substation. We do fingerprinting, we do bicycle registrations, we do fix-it tickets. Here at the main station we work in crime analysis, we work in the traffic department, we direct traffic. Some departments have citizens academies, which is a good way to learn about the police department. So that's it.
There are several stress academies within the United States that still will use some sort of combatives program in order to train their recruits. Whether it's wrestling or full contact boxing, you need to be prepared no matter what, because whether they teach it or not, once you hit the streets, people are going to use full contact against you sometimes to avoid arrest. What I'm going to show you are a few of the basic techniques which you should be practicing right now or at a gym in order to help prepare you for the academy and after the academy once you're finally on the streets. Although I've been in the martial arts for 20 years, I am a firm believer of studying Western boxing. You cannot beat the techniques, the simple, practical, effective methods of boxing. And of course, boxing is something that you need to be practicing right now. The basic punches would be the jab, and of course your stance should be where one hand is on your cheek, the hand that's not doing anything at the moment, and you should be in a good fighting stance. You should have your hand over your nose slightly as if you're looking down a gun barrel, and you should be looking over your fist. This way it protects the center of your body, and if you have to block, you can easily move, and your feet should be shoulder width apart. But this is how a basic fighting stance looks from a front view, and this is how it looks from a side view. Now, the jab just comes, and don't wind up for these punches or else he's going to see it coming. But a jab comes just right there from A to B. Then the cross comes right off the cheek, and you torque your body so you have some force behind it. That's a cross, and of course the hook. And the hook comes from the side and is meant for the jaw or the ear. So that is the hook. When you combine these three techniques, they become a lethal combination. Jab, cross, hook. There's also another technique which is very good in boxing, and that's called the uppercut. And that is usually a strike to the ribs, or if your opponent is bending over, it would be to the head. And that comes from either the rear hand or the front hand, but you need to bend down a little bit with your knees and come up to it. Make sure that immediately after you do any punch that your hands are in front of you. Sure enough, the moment you drop your hands, that's the time you get hit. All right.
He's still 10-6 on a stop.
Another factor you must consider is the fear factor. Now obviously anytime you wear a badge, you're a target. And if you're going to get into law enforcement, you got to realize that people are going to want to hurt you or even kill you just because you wear a badge. Obviously not in all cases. Many officers go their whole career without ever shooting somebody or getting into a very serious incident. However, there are many officers who do get injured or lose their life. You have to prepare for this possible event before you get into law enforcement. If you don't think you have the stomach for it, then don't get into law enforcement. You need to be able to handle pressure, handle fear, and be able to make quick decisions. If you're the type of person that will freeze up in a time of extreme stress or fear, then you're a danger to yourself and you're a danger to those around you that you'll be working with. Now that doesn't mean you know, you're a weak person. It just means you may not be cut out for this job. So what I'm saying is think about these things, and if you think you can handle that kind of extreme duress and stress, and you think you can act under fear, because there's not a cop out here who doesn't fear sometime during this job. We've all been afraid. But the fact is, can you work with that fear? Can you accept the fact that yes, you could be injured or even killed? If you can accept the fact and perform your duties regardless of your fear, then yes, you're the type of person we want in law enforcement. So just give it a hard thought, and that's a big obstacle for a lot of people, because you know, you'll deal with this throughout your career, but now's the time to think of it before you even get into it. On this tape, you've heard many opinions from many different people. Most are in agreement with each other, and some are contradictory. I've given you both sides. Ultimately, you need to contact someone who works in an agency that you're interested in and get their opinions. They'll also let you know the philosophy of those in charge of hiring and what they're looking for in a candidate. I'm not going to wish you luck, because landing a job in law enforcement does not depend on luck. It is a combination of preparedness and opportunity. I've given you the tools, now the rest is up to you. Once you get into the field of law enforcement, look into my other training videotapes on combatives, officer safety, the martial arts, and special operations. They'll help you keep you safe.
Thirsty over there.